It's tragic when you have to take the amazing production design and cut it down to nothing, because this was one of the most extravagantly designed scenes in the film where they had taken this, I wasn't there for shooting, I forgot if it was a warehouse or something downtown, and converted it into this restaurant, New York restaurant. And we had, as you can see when you watch the scene, these beautiful crane shots of showing all the tables and all the extravagant meals. And as we visited Edie and Keaton, or introduced Edie and Keaton into the scene, and it gave the background of Keaton trying to get his life together and her helping him become a successful businessman. And for that reason, the scene was great because it really set up the dynamic of the two characters, and it really made you understand sooner, rather than discovering it, that Keaton really was this guy who was serious about getting his life together. The problem was that its placement in the film interrupted the arrest sequence in the beginning of the film, because as you know, Keaton is rounded up in the end of that restaurant scene. So I had all of these arrests happen in this very fast-paced style. You know, Fenster's arrested and Hawking's arrested. So all of a sudden we put on we came to a screeching halt, and we're in this restaurant to introduce Keaton, and unfortunately, it just interrupted the rhythm and the dynamo of the scene. So unfortunately, we had to cut out the entire front half of the sequence, and we came in midstream. But you still get the idea that he's giving a business pitch to some people, and you get in the course of the film that he's trying to turn his life around. So it was a good cut, but those things are you have to step back and see the bigger picture, and then realize that it was the right thing to do.
Let me look at you. Now remember, this is another kind of business. They don't earn your respect. You owe it to them. And don't stare them down. But don't look away either. It's confidence. And they're fools not to trust you. That's the attitude.
Jeez. I'm having a stroke.
I love you. Live with it. Hi. Dinner in? Bonjour, j'étais désolée, je suis en retard.
C'est pas grave, il dit bonjour. Antoine Renaud, Edith Finaran.
Enchanté.
Enchantée.
Monsieur Keaton, Antoine Renaud.
Dominique Fontier, enchanté. Please sit down. It is so nice to finally meet you, Mr. Keaton. Oui, commencez, ne nous attendez pas. Bon appétit. Edie brought us your proposal, and I will be honest, we are very impressed. But I must admit, still confused.
Well, it's quite simple.
This almost tops the other scene for being cheesy. We wanted the visual of Arturo Marquez's body being discovered, because if things are just talked about, the audience might be more confused, and so it's better to always have visual aids, of course. And so this really expensive dummy of Arturo Marquez's body was constructed, and I think cost $5,000, which is a huge amount of money for this movie. And so the scene was shot where a kid discovers the body floating under a bridge as he's fishing. And the kid was the son of one of the producers of the film, Michael McDonald. And but the scene was it just didn't feel like it was part of this movie. And then when the body bubbled up for no particular reason, I mean, the kid's looking over fishing, and all of a sudden this body just bubbles up, and it was a little too cheesy looking, so we cut the scene. And we got away with Arturo Marquez's body being discovered, just being talked about, as opposed to seeing it. But I did use that shot of it bubbling up in different sequences in the movie, in the flashback sequence, so we got to use it. there was a tremendous amount of second unit footage shot in the boat, which was not really scripted. This was the one part where I talk about it on the commentary track, that this area of the movie was a little mini story that I told in the editing room based upon a ton of footage of just actors lurking about, opening doors, closing doors, walking across camera here and then, making it seem like we're in many different locations. And one of the scenes that the second unit director had shot was this kitchen altercation with Stephen Baldwin, McManus, and this Hungarian, and it sort of slowed things down, and it was very dark. You really couldn't see what was going on, and it definitely feels very dead. But hell, it was on the tape, so I put it on there.
You stay quiet. He's here. I know he's here.
Planting the bomb is this small snippet that that was in this older cut that we'd found, which got excised from the movie because it just confused things. That Keaton, the original storyline was that Keaton planted a bomb in the engine room, and that's why the ship exploded, and that's why in the beginning of the film he asked Kaiser Soze, "What time is it?" because he knows that the bomb's about to explode. But we left that line in, and no one ever asked why he asked that question, but it's because he'd just planted this bomb. And this little moment on the DVD here is where he kneeled down and set the bomb, and started that storyline going. But instead, it was cut out.
Out of here.
There are a few places in the movie where we did this, and this is kind of a funny story behind this, where after the interrogation, Kuyan is wrapping things up with Verbal, and we've realized now that Keaton was Kaiser Soze, we think. And Verbal goes on pathetically, and the script just went on a little bit too long, and it was at the point where you felt like, okay, it's time for him to get up now and leave the office. It was, you feel the extra beat that's just taking too much time. And Brian would always, come in and out of the editing room once in a while and visit me. And one day, I gathered all this film up in my hands, and it was this big ball of film and mag track. And he goes, "What's that?" And I go, "It's bullshit." And I threw it on the ground, and it was actually extra spacey dialogue. And but some of that is in this cut. So this is the part that was cut out.
Turn state's evidence. You might never see trial. If someone wants to get you, they're gonna get you out there.
Maybe so. But I'm not a rat, Agent Kuyan. You tricked me, that's all. I won't keep my mouth shut because I'm scared. I'll keep it shut because I let Keaton down by getting caught. I need Ephedrine too. And if they kill me, it'll be because they hear I dropped dime. And they'll probably hear it from you. Fucking cops.